Hi, here is Vivi. Today I will talk about state machine. It is one of the behavior diagram of SYSML. It illustrates the important phases in the lifetime of an element. Let's talk about the elements of state machine, the basic elements of state machine on this toolbox that you can see. But first I have to stop my simulation. Here, click on the Zustand machine and add diagram. You choose the state machine, and if you want you can change the name here, but I don't want. Okay, now we see an empty state machine. You just see of course the frame of it. Now let's talk about some basic elements of the state machine. Like start, you can add the elements just by drag and drop from toolbox. That's state, and a state is a situation in which an element can go when conditions hold. State elements have three operations which we can add. Just right click on it, features, operations. Let's make it big. The three of them. Entry to exit. Entry when triggers always automatically when we enter a state. As long as we are in this state, it is triggered over and over. Exit is triggered automatically when we leave a state. For example, I'm gonna create an example traffic light state machine, and when entering a state, timer of this state will start, and as long as we are in this state, we are checking this timer, because we leave this state when time out, and when we leave this state we have to reset the timer too. Just start timer, check timer, and reset timer. Okay, moreover I want to talk about the composite state. Just drop some states, because we need a composite state contains one or more substates. It means mostly this many states occur simultaneously, and when we use to make it, you can't find it on the toolbox. We have to create it. Just it's so easy actually. Just you have to select an element and pull it in this state. And now state 2 is a composite state. State 3 is a substate of state 2. Initial state, it's another important element of state machine. Every state machine have to have an initial state. It's not a real state, but it have to show the start point of the state machine. Final state. If your state machine is not an endless state machine, it has to have at least one final. It can have more, but at least one final it has to have. If your state machine is an endless state machine, then you can omit it. It could be left out. Okay, another important point that I want to talk is this changes from a state to another. How to change? We are doing it with transitions. it shows when we have to change from state 1 to state 2. A transition could have, just click on it, a guard attached. A guard is like a restriction or contains. When it is fulfilled, the change happens. In that case, we called it or trigger timer expired. A timer could be omit if it's from initial to a state, or the transition changed by any trigger. There are 4 types of trigger. They are all events. Actually, they are just important if you want to create code, but we don't want. But even though I'm going to talk about them, call is, for example, sending a message to associated object. Change is as a result of change, and signal is receiving a signal. And timer is, as the name says already, it's a moment of time. I'm going to talk about in another video about this executable state machines and so on. Therefore, just let's explain the state machine. Save. Okay. Yeah. Let's create an example traffic light state machine. It will be quite a pretty simple state machine, and it will help you to get how a state machine works, basically the fundamental of the state machine. Yeah, I already prepared some states to gain some time. Just I say no, I don't need it. That's already done. I'm not talking about that. Just here we can see our states. Amber is a green, red. That's the states of our traffic light. We have a composite state. It means traffic light is in operation. Yeah, and an idle. Then traffic lamp is not in operation when an error occurs. And we need an and final, of course. First, we are starting with green. Just make a composite state by dragging the states in this super state or composite state, whatever you call it. And from initial, we don't need to trigger it, just transition. And from green to amber, transition, and the trigger is timer green expired. Just copy. Say okay. From amber to red, transition, we call it timer amber expired. Save. Okay. And from red to green, transition, timer red expired. Save. Okay. Now, in case error, we have to change in idle. We call this transition. Error is equal true. Save it. Okay, and we don't need to call the trigger. We just make a transition. Yes, that's all traffic light state machine. We can change the line style to make it a bit more appealed. You're doing it with there. Just it there and pull it a bit. It make the diagram look a bit curved, the line look a bit curved and softer. Click on the transition, choose the line style, and what you have to do is just pull these dots. That's it. We can see an already done state machine. That's ready to simulation. As you can see here, I add choice, and it means decision. If error is true, we are changing from initial to idle. If we are going this traffic light active or traffic light in operation, as long as error is false. Yeah, I added as guard because it changed always to traffic light in operation or in is active. But if there is an error, we have to go in idle. As I said before, it's ready to simulation. We can see that. Start it. And we have to change because it's manually. Okay. That's how it changed between the states. That's it. Thanks for watching. Take care.